Batman vs Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the latest animation from DC. This is based on the Batman vs Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book series that were very, very popular. I've got the first two up there somewhere. This is mainly based or inspired by the first book in the series. The one important difference is that there's no dimensional hopping in this. As far as I could tell from watching the show, the Turtles are based in New York and they just come to Gotham tracking the Foot Clan and their activities. It's a little bit strange that Batman wouldn't know who they were, considering who Batman is and the Turtles' unique aspects, seeing as Batman has a handle on most things in the world, if not America at the very least. But whatever, it's a cartoon. When I first watched it and turned it on, I initially thought it was for little kids, because it's got the Nickelodeon sign that comes up and the animation style looks cheap and a little bit babyish. About, I don't know, like 3-4 minutes after that, you have the Shredder appear, and all of a sudden you realise it's not for little kids. He does away with one of his Foot Clan members by throwing a shuriken and it landing in their head or their face, depending on that. I think it's about here. There's blood, it's proper in there, it's not like off camera or anything, and then he fights Batman. And when he fights Batman, it is a really good fight. It's really well choreographed. They each have their different moves. That Batman moves like Batman does, Shredder moves like Shredder does. Both are an even match for each other, and you can see it being a fight you'd want to see in live action. And Shredder does this cool sort of special move that he's got that it's like a double punch that, you know, knocks Batman on his ass. The main plot is that the Turtles have followed Shredder, who is in a pact with Ra's al Ghul. They're going to use mutagen to sort of spray it in clouds, rain across the city, mutate the Gotham City citizens and have them tear the city to parts. To do this, they use the Joker because they want to put his sort of Joker chemicals in the mix, and the Joker wants in exchange a vial of the mutagen. They give that to him and he releases the inmates of Arkham Asylum. All your favourites are Mr. Freeze, Bane, Scarecrow, Two-Face and Poison Ivy, and mutates them, and they turn into mutations in line with the book. So you've got Mr. Freeze as a polar bear, Poison Ivy as a sort of plant woman, Scarecrow as a crow, Bane is sort of a big tiger, and the Joker, I'm glad to see they keep as a sort of cobra snake monster. There's a good sort of sequence in there with the Turtles and Batman sort of each pairing up or teaming up, dealing with the different villains. And as you might expect, they then go on to face Shredder and Ra's al Ghul, and you have a fight between Leonardo and Ra's al Ghul and Shredder and Batman. And they're all, you know, well done and satisfying, but I don't think any of them were as good as the first fight between Batman and Shredder. There's also a fight near the start between Batman and the Turtles where he just hands their ass to them, and the way he moves and they animate him with his shoulders down, sort of his cape over him, it just looks really good and really Batman. And that's one of the things that they have taken care of, even though the animation style does grate on me, and I don't like the look of the Turtles or any of their lot of characters. So I don't like the Turtles, don't like Baxter Stockman, who's in his fly form in this. They do put a lot of care and effort into how the characters move and their actions, the way Leonardo grips his sword, the way Batman fights and moves. Everyone has their unique styles. It's not as if they're all using the same fighting style. They do have very distinct different fighting styles and movement patterns, and that's really sort of enjoyable and fun to see. Kind of wish that they just thrown a bit more money at this, to be honest. Had better animation though, and then they could have put this on at the cinema. They tried it with The Killing Joke and people went to see it. They did it with the latest Dragon Ball Z and loads of people went to see that. I think with this, Batman and the Turtles, they could have been onto a winner. Maybe because they wanted to have it slightly more a grown up, that they couldn't have it for little kids because this is quite violent. I mean, you've got a beheading by Ra's al Ghul, and he chops off someone's hand as well and uses that to gain access to somewhere. Not really something you'd see on sort of Cartoon Network, but you know, just for my 2 cents, I think that's what they could have done. There's lots of jokes with the turtles. They're really funny. They're constantly commenting on sort of things comic book fans will get. They go, "Oh, Gotham's a lot like New York, isn't it?" And they're like, no, totally different. They go, no, they're basically the same place, because everyone knows Gotham is essentially New York in the comics. And then they comment on the blimps that are flying around and what purpose the blimps serve. No one knows what they do in Gotham until the very end, and then they find out in a lucky way what the blimps are for. And there's other little asides and jokes like that. You get to see Damian Wayne, Robin, who doesn't really reference Ra's al Ghul as being his grandfather, which is a bit weird because normally he calls him grandfather in the comics, but they probably just didn't want to have to deal with that in the story. You've got Batgirl, but you've got like the Batgirl in a Burnside outfit, which is good to see. I haven't seen that animated before, as far as I can remember, and it looks good on screen. You get Alfred, obviously. No Splinter, which was a little bit of a shame, but you know, I suppose they're saving that for another one. And at the end, after the credits, you get a sort of post-credits scene or snapshot with Shredder, who's turned into a Joker Shredder. He's gone into the Joker's chemicals, Ace chemicals, and he gone insane. He's laughing and he looks like Shredder crossed with the Joker. So that's fun for the next film, and that'll be a unique direction that it can go away from the books. The other thing that I quite liked about it, just to finish up, was in the credits you've got all of the classic covers from Batman and the Turtles. The Batman ones I recognised more so than the Turtles, but they've been sort of tweaked so that they've got either Batman added to them or Batman characters or the Turtles added to them, and they don't just stick it to just Batman. There's also Batgirl covers as well that's in there. You've got the sort of Batgirl Burnside cover where the Turtles are in there too, and that's just nice. If you know your comics and you know your covers, you can spot that, and it's quite enjoyable. Really worth watching. It'll probably come on streaming soon. I paid for this online, but you know, I think it's worth it for entertainment value. It's just a real shame that I think they could have tweaked the animation a bit better, but it is funny, it does make me laugh, and it was well thought out and choreographed, and they went their own way with it from the books. So yeah, Batman vs Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, well worth watching.